Hey everyone, it's been a while. I hope your holidays went well and had a had an okay end to 2020. I know last year has been pretty darn crazy. This is Matt, your local friendly gamer, and I am with my good old friend Phil. And one of the
Hey
stranger
everyone.
things to come across in the previous year was, and we kid you not, KFC, as in like Kentucky Fried Chicken, is working with a company to create a gaming console,
Yeah,
which of
yeah.
course is like the weirdest thing. And you think that this would be an April Fool's joke, but sure enough, it's real.
Yeah.
So to kind of go into it, their tagline is "Power Your Hunger." The KFC console has arrived, forged from the fires of the KFC ovens and built by Cooler Master from the ground up. There's never been a tastier way to experience the latest titles in stunning 4K 240 FPS. Um, it has the world's first built-in chicken chamber, so you can reheat your chicken wings or chicken strips or chicken nuggets using the CPU of the computer itself, which I'm just like, I really hope you only pick the breaded ones and there's no grease in them, because that's a good
Yeah.
way to screw up the internal mechanisms of your computer really quick. Not to mention
hmm
the peripherals that you're using, whether it's controllers or keyboard and mouse.
hmm
Okay, and it's like at Cooler Master, we're wired different. We go way beyond the outside of the box to deliver cutting edge performance with a touch of class. Our expert mod team, lead by the legendary Swedish craftsman uh, no, Timpale. I kind of read that as time play. I don't know why. Set about building this awesome beast, and boy, did he deliver. That's one way of putting it. Housed in a custom Cooler Master NC100 chases, we needed something small but mighty, and that is just what we got. At the heart of this machine is the Intel NUC9 Extreme Compute Element, keeping space down and driving performance that mere mortals can only dream of. So yeah, it's using the i9 ninth generation. Discover a level of gameplay you didn't know what possible with Asus powered graphics that runs battery smooth, keeping tearing and frame drop a thing of the past. With a first of its kind hot swappable GPU slot, the KFC console will stay the most powerful console for generations to come. Also, Asus is, I think, the company that is responsible for Republic of Gaming, which is the laptop I have, the gaming laptop that I have. Just an FYI.
Excellent.
And Seagate is
Ah.
coming up with the drives. Unleash the performance of PCIe NVMe speeds that are 6 times faster. Boot games up in seconds and instantly access data while loading games. We have taken your data to the next level of performance, reliability, and efficiency with 2 Seagate Barracuda 1 terabyte solid state drives. So that on its own is going to drive up the price.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, get on your feet and enjoy the world of virtual reality while the smell of fresh chicken captures your senses. Rays of light individually simulated, creating true-to-life shadows and reflections that will immerse you in selected games more than ever before. Enjoy smooth and fluid, high frame rate gameplay at up to 240 frames per second for all games, with support of 240 hertz outputs on 4K displays. Enjoy your favorite games in finger-clicking good 4K quality on supported devices. So yeah, and
Excellent.
KFC Gaming is an actual YouTube channel now. And the first comment can't be any more true. This is quintessentially the most American thing I've ever seen.
I love
That's
love
not
the
wrong.
comment there.
It is the most American thing you ever seen.
Yeah.
And It's like this is like an actual thing now. They
Oh
have
wow.
like streams and all this stuff going on.
Hmm.
So it's like, so this was the thing they started like 2 years ago as kind of like a
Oh
Twitch channel,
wow.
or like a YouTube highlight channel.
Mhm.
And I think this was probably a response to like Wendy's getting into the action. It's kind of weird how like KFC, Wendy's, and Arby's are marketing themselves as like the nerd brands.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like they just up and like make a game console. So
They all have to one up each other every now and then.
I know. So this is their first. This is like their initial reveal trailer.
Uh-huh.
Now, people thought that this was a prank at first, because even though it wasn't on April Fool's Day, this was initially revealed June 15th of last year. And then, and then like half a year later, it was confirmed to be a thing that actually existed, and then they had this new trailer.
There's a reason mankind didn't peak with the discovery of fire, or the invention of the wheel. It's a feeling inside all of us that compels us to go further, reach higher, and dream of ways to achieve the unachievable. When the odds are stacked against us and it seems like the entire world wants to tell us no, that's not possible. Surely that can't be done. And we look up to the stars and say, just watch me. Because we know that rules are made to be broken. We know that dreams are made to be followed. That the impossible is made to be possible. And that gaming consoles are made to evolve. Welcome to the next level in gaming innovation. The KFConsole.
Oh. Excellent.
So yeah, there's I think the biggest things that people still don't know yet are the release date and how much it's going to cost. Well, first, it's going to cost a lot. I can imagine that just for the actual console itself, because you still need to get like a monitor, keyboard, mouse, controller, what have you.
Yep.
And I'm kind of wondering how you can keep the chicken in there without like screwing up the insides, because it's like that's expensive stuff to have chicken to be heating chicken next to it.
Mm-hmm. So I heard that they have a really, really good cooling system in there, so that entire top layer of it, you can't really see in this photo, but it's like a grill. Well, literally a grill, but a grill on top of a grill, and it's actually sucks up the air from the heating unit away from the PC components underneath it. So it's pretty. Hopefully, it should be pretty efficient. Long term, I don't know how that's gonna work.
I don't know how it's gonna work either. Let alone how they're gonna make enough of those to keep up with demand. Although, when you really think about it, who was really asking for this? It's
the one thing that no one knew that they wanted until it existed.
And it's like, I wish I could keep my chicken, my fried chicken warm while I'm playing these video games. If only my PC could do that for me. It's like, wow. I mean, kind of to start things off, I'm not really a huge proponent on eating while playing video games anyway, because, especially with a lot of stuff that you eat, that stuff gets all over your hands and your hands get on the controller. That controller is going to get messed up.
Yep.
So it's
Grease
like
inside of the controller. It's like, oh, it sounds
grease,
disgusting.
salt,
Yep.
depending on what you're having, like even like sugar, chocolate, or stuff like that.
Mhm.
It's like
Barbecue sauce from the
barbecue stuff.
chicken.
Yeah, it's
Uh-huh.
like I don't need that on my controller. It's like, especially since those cost like 60 to 80 bucks nowadays. No, thank you.
Mhm. Yep.
Uh, so it's like already, it's like I can understand like having a bottle of water, either while gaming or watching a movie, because it's like, especially during a
Yep.
cutscene, you just unscrew it,
Take
take a
quick
quick
sip.
drink, sip, and then put it down. And it's like it's
Mhm.
closed, it's out of the way, nothing gets on everything. But it's like with food, you don't really have that. And
Right.
especially because for most food you got to eat it with with the same hands that you're playing the game with.
Mhm.
So it's like, what kind of level of gaming hermit you have to be to get a gaming PC specifically to heat up, I assume it's leftover chicken, or just chicken that's been sitting around, after you got it for lunch or something. Because I mean, again,
Mhm.
it's like I don't get it. Not to mention,
I didn't even think
with
about the aspect.
not to mention, it's probably gonna stink after a while.
Mhm. And I didn't even think about the aspect until you just mentioned it, that this entire system isn't made for like your brand new chicken. It's for your leftover chicken.
Yeah, because if you just got chicken
Mhm.
from like KFC, Chick-fil-A, or
Mhm.
Wingstop, Buffalo Wild Wings,
Mhm.
you don't need to put it in there right away. It's hot. It's hot when you come home with it.
Right.
It's like, so. I mean, it's like it kind of has to be like leftover chicken, or even if you just like have a few pieces and then leave the rest just sitting for a while as you play your game, and it's like, I'm hungry again. Oh, but this chicken has gotten cold. Let me put it into my gaming PC to heat it up. And then after a while, during a cutscene, I can eject it out and have some nice warmed up chicken.
Mhm. And the weird thing with this is that, I guess, hopefully the system has everything that gamers are wanting outside just the chicken compartment, because that's so much real estate of space that they could have put either other HDMI ports, they could have put other
USB
um,
ports.
right USB ports, they could have put a capture card or something like built into
Yeah.
the system, and so many other components. Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's like, aside from like the bare necessities, I say bare necessities, but of course the 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 graphics card and the CPU and the hard drives aren't anything to sneeze at.
Right.
But it's like, for people who are used to like getting like something with the gamer brand, or even have something built for them solely as a gamer PC,
Mhm.
that seems like it doesn't have a whole lot that a lot of people would think that it would have. Like, I think the first
True.
trailer showed like there was like a version with a CD drive, but then they later took it out because I guess they couldn't make it work.
Oh, that's a good
It's
point. Yeah,
who really uses a CD drive nowadays. Um,
very true.
for computers specifically. Like, I
Hmm.
know consoles, we still like physical media, but
Hmm.
it has already kind of been phased out in computers. Like, if you
Right.
want to use a CD or burn a DVD or anything, you gotta plug in like an external drive, not
Hmm.
an external CD drive, which
Right.
are available. It's not
And for
hard to
very
find.
cheap too.
Yeah,
You
and
can
for
get
very
them
cheap.
for, yeah, like 20 to $50, depending on like the model.
Yeah. I mean, it has to have it has to have at least one HDMI port, because you need a monitor for that thing.
Hmm.
It is interesting because, yeah, it's like maybe it's all in the back. I think it kind of has to be in the back.
I think it's in the back. Because
yeah, the front.
If I could find like a, I think they mentioned it was in the back.
Yeah, because they only really have like a front forward stuff. And while we're on the subject of the kind of the chicken fryer, you know, seeing that this is kind of KFC we're talking about, and that, you know, their chicken isn't really that big, like, you know, like the chicken strips or the popcorn chicken. It's like, what if you want to use something from like a more local or regional place that has like chicken strips, you know, that are like a lot bigger? Because I mean, even though chicken strips are like a common appetizer in like sit down places, those things are freaking huge. Like, yep. I feel like you kind of have, because actually, let me put back the screen share. I feel like I kind of have to like split like one of those in half for it to like fit in there.
Right. And I was even thinking too, see, those are like 2 chicken strips there. But if in the system, for let's say, for example, you got a 2-piece chicken meal, and it's like a thigh and the leg, that's not really going to fit in there, like both the thigh and the leg.
Yeah, I was going to say that was not made for stuff with bones in them.
Right.
In fact, you kind of wonder if like boneless wings can fit in there too. It's like, I think it's like specifically for KFC chicken strips or popcorn chicken. Because I ain't seeing anything that would, unless if you're getting like, say, chicken nuggets at like McDonald's or Wendy's, I don't see anything else that's fitting in there. So for something it's like, it's very, very niche, even in terms of chicken warming.
Yeah.
In an already niche idea.
It's a niche on top of a niche.
It's a niche on top of a niche.
Yeah. Even though it is an interesting concept, though, because if they can do this with like this amount of heat on top of your actual like gaming platform underneath it, then they can expand this to, well, both they can expand the amount of chicken you can put inside of there. Because for me, I would want to put an entire bucket of chicken inside and keep it warm. So I know they want it compact, but I want them to expand. I want a desktop.
It's like a full tower, and like 3/4 of the tower is just the warming station for your entire bucket of chicken.
I need it to be the size of a PS5 or Xbox Series X, just a huge tower with different chicken compartments in the inside. But other than that, though,
maybe, I think maybe a heated fry holder, or no, not fry, potato skin. Potato skin or business.
It does need a potato skin slot, and it needs something where like it needs a sauce dispenser where it can actually put the sauce on the chicken for you. Because if you're playing a game, you don't want to open up the chicken packets and then put it on the chicken. You need it to be already on the chicken to save time.
We're just making all sorts of unnecessary conveniences.
But watch,
to avoid using a microwave. You know, first to start off.
Yeah.
And not only that, but it's also, so it's like you can't pause the game. Well, okay. Actually, in all defense, if you are playing online, you can't pause.
Right.
But it's like if you're playing like single player or even like local multiplayer, it's like you guys can't pause.
Honestly, it's been a while since I've paused. Now I think about it, without like saving and just entirely quitting the game. It's been a while since I actually paused. Now I think about it.
Hey, I guess it's up your alley then.
Because I've played so many online games that I haven't really, like you mentioned, I haven't really had a chance to pause, or like can't.
They don't really let you.
The only thing I could think about was like Super Smash Brothers, like sit like like when you're in the lobby, you can like sit out for a match.
Yeah.
But even then, you're not really pausing. It's still kind of like you're just waiting in the lobby longer.
Yeah, yeah. You're just kind of in the queue.
Mm. So, what this really needs though is like, I thought it would be really funny if like while we're giving suggestions, like KFC just enters the chat. It's like, wait a minute, we heard some ideas there. But what it really needs is a partnership with Alexa, so that you don't even need to like use your hands. You can just kind of talk to it.
Alexa,
Alexa, heat the chicken. Alexa, 85 degrees, or like whatever chicken's heated at. Alexa, pause my game. I have grease on my hands.
Too much stuff, honestly. Yeah.
but I do what I do think is really interesting with the system too is the amount of stuff that's going into it. Because from
outside the obvious chicken chamber.
Oh right. Aside from the chicken chamber, because like the actual components in it, I saw online like someone did a breakdown of like just like the 1 terabyte SSD, well the two 1 gigabyte slot. The I think the video card, the GPUs, like all of the components built into it, and I think they said it was almost like at the very least like $1,500, if not $2,000. Like
yeah,
with the
they kind of want to charge more because of both the branding and the the additional stuff that goes into it. So if just the raw components only cost $2,000, and it's going to be more, like at that point, you may as well get like a Mac desktop,
or build your own like PC,
or build your own, which probably by the time you're done is probably like not going to be that much more over $2,000.
Exactly.
I don't know. I haven't built one.
You get like an RTX, what was it, 3080? I think it's 3080.
Yeah, I think 3080 is the new one.
Yeah, like you get a couple of like, one of those, and like you get your power supply, your GPU, all your components. Like you said, it'd probably be, if not more powerful than the Kentucky Fried Chicken system, console.
Kentucky Fried Console.
It should at least match it there. But the one thing that I'm really curious about too is the heating, because either it's going to have the most revolutionary heating components we've ever seen in the Kentucky Fried Console, or they're all going to catch on fire because it's filled with grease. That's
the grease in there. Yeah.
So,
or at the very least, set off all the smoke detectors.
Or like, because how do you clean the inside of the system?
How do you clean that?
Yeah.
Like, you open it while it's off or something? Because I can imagine you can't really clean it all that well when it's on. I wouldn't recommend that.
I'm hoping that the entire top component of it comes off like a cap.
Yeah.
And then you could clean the inner grate and stuff. Because if not, then it's just going to be like old chicken sitting on top of the older chicken.
Yeah, it's not going to be all that appetizing after a few uses.
It's like, hey, Matt, come on over, have the Kentucky Fried Console. Let's have some chicken. It's like, Phil, when did you get the system? I got it 2 years ago, but come on. Don't mind that old chicken in there. Just let's put some new chicken in there.
Everybody you taste the stale the whole chicken.
Is that barbecue sauce? Yeah, from last time, not this time. Like they really need they need an entire video on that. Like, here's not only the system, but here's how you clean it, and that. I think that there's a lot that they need to show us additionally with the system.
Well, yeah, because seeing that it's still like only a confirmed concept, we only have like cliff notes.
Oh, but hey, Matt, can you Google I like the back of the Kentucky Fried Console because someone posted a picture of it.
Back of
KFC console.
console. Back of construction.
No, not
I don't
that
know.
one.
I don't know how you got that out of back of console.
Don't search it. Don't search it.
No, no.
I know someone posted it. Where did? Let's see. Specs, price, release date. I don't think that's the real one. Can we search by images? Let's see.
Yeah, they're only really showing the front of the darn thing.
Someone, I know I saw the back of it because it had some ports. Unless that was someone's mock-up.
That might have been a mock-up.
Mm-hmm. I guess so. Oh, but there you can see the grates though. In that the picture closest to the bottom. Yeah, like they have a vent system. The only thing is that like they look like thick vents. So I don't know how efficient the airflow is going to be without grease like going directly to the top of the system. But spec-wise, though, it will be very powerful. They had to mention Cyberpunk.
Yeah, of course they had mentioned Cyberpunk.
Let's see, custom build. Oh, that's part of the breakdown, yeah. This drive took apart to this drive. There's the top. Yeah, see, look, you can see the fan there, and see the fan isn't. It's a nice size fan, but it's not like huge. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because that fan's going to get caked up with grease after a couple uses.
Yeah.
Because even the like a rice cooker.
Yeah.
Like even rice cookers, and I know probably has more steam than this one would have, but as the steam rises over time, if it's not constantly cleaned, it can like mess up the I guess the metals of that to where there's either like corrosion from the steam, mold from like the food and the steam, like the being made. There's a lot of like cleaning that needs to be done with those.
Yeah, and I know it's just reheating food, but at the same time, it's like there's a lot that kind of goes on with that.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you're basically turning your game PC into an impromptu microwave.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like
I mean, they had systems. Oh yeah,
they got to be cleaned every now and then.
Mm-hmm. And I was gonna say like they used to have systems back in the day that would overheat to the point where you could put food on top of them and cook stuff that way. Like and
now they made it into a feature.
Oh. But like as much as like we might say like some of the components of this might not be as practical or like can they do this? Anything's really possible now because they just I don't know if you've heard about the Atari VCS, but they just launched it. Like it actually came out. Like everyone thought like the Atari VCS would eventually not come out or they would kind of take the money from people from the I think it was either Kickstarted or was it I forgot if it was solely a Kickstarter or if they had different avenues. But they launched that program. Oh, that console, and it seemed pretty good initially, Yeah, Indiegogo, I think.
Yeah, it was Indiegogo.
Mm-hmm. Because it's even at GameStop now.
Oh, I heard it was introduced as the Atari box, and GameStop doesn't like me to have it on wall. GameSpot,
on the
GameSpot doesn't like
screen.
to have my no, it doesn't like to have it while I have a VPN on. That's what it is.
Gotcha.
Hard
Like,
to
GameStop,
recommend.
we're trying to help you.
Anything other than an oddity.
Mm-hmm. But they did officially launch. And I heard it was actually good as a what's it called? A
2600.
emulator box, oddly enough.
Interesting.
Mhm. People were playing PS2 games, GameCube games, which normally on a lot of emulator systems are harder to actually get to, get running. But I think, let me see, it was the. Oh, they're not showing it on that picture, I guess. But there's like another mode where you can connect your PC to it. Oh,
Yeah,
that's
right.
the PC mode. Yeah. So you would boot it through the PC mode and then utilize the hardware of the system itself to run your emulated games on.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's like now I think the biggest question is, in the event that this somehow kicks off, the other fast food companies are going to want in on that.
Oh yeah.
So, what would you think their consoles would be?
Oh, so let's see. McDonald's, of course, would have to have the cheapest system, like the cheapest console. The McDonald's would make the Atari VCS version of of the next generation restaurant.
It'd be shaped like a Happy Meal box.
Yeah. Oh, the Happy Meal box, or just the M. It would just be the M with like the components, like just kind of attached to different parts of it.
Or maybe underneath the end is where underneath the M is where the food can be reheated, because of course that's got to be the selling point. With the
it would have to have a burger compartment.
Yeah. It's like in the arches would be the burger heating compartment, and then all of the inner workings would be in the like M itself.
Chick-fil-A would definitely have a system that's higher end, but it would not work on Sundays.
I was thinking that too. It's like on Sundays it tells you to go to church. It refused to start
while you're playing. While you're playing at like Saturday at like 11:59, you're like playing the last level. It'll literally shut off at 12 o'clock
and tell you to go to church. All right, Burger King. What do we got with Burger King?
Burger King would honestly, it might be the best system though, because they were way ahead of everyone else in terms of catering to gamers. I don't remember
with the Wii games,
with the Xbox 360 one.
Yeah. So maybe it would be like a crown, and then like
definitely, yeah.
The crown would probably be the casing, and then maybe like the KFConsole, everything would be at the bottom, but then it's like the grill component could be like the reheating part.
And it would have to have the king like everywhere. That creepy king character. Yeah. He'd have to be like everywhere. He would be poking out at like every single spot of the console. And like when you open up some systems, they have like the little like Easter egg message. Like the Microsoft, you open up as like Master Chief. Well, this will have like the KFC King just right there. As soon as you open up the top part, it's just him staring at you.
It'd be the Burger King. KFC is the Colonel.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The Burger King King. Yep. He'd just be staring right at you, like, "Are you sure you want to open this system?"
No, he just hands you a burger.
But that system will have the best games.
Yeah.
Of all the systems. Yeah, because I heard that Sneak King was oddly good, even though it was a horrible. Like all of them were pretty bad, but of the ones, Sneak King was the actual like hitman of the games. Because the whole point of it was like you had to sneak up on people and give them hamburgers. But you had to sneak up on them like Hitman style. So like the whole Hitman is like an open world and you kind of go around. I heard it was like that, where you go around people's houses and give them food.
Because it's
Oh.
not like they want anything from Burger King and ask you to give it to them.
Mm.
You gotta sneak up and give them the burgers.
Who else would be a good game?
There's also Wendy's.
Wendy's.
What would be Wendy's shtick? Because theirs is like the whole fresh, never frozen sort of thing with the burger in the square burgers. So but it's like a square console isn't anything new.
I almost feel like they would be the online only system.
The online only system?
Yeah, like theirs, since it's like their normal thing is like fresh, never frozen, like always like. I guess they have like the fastest delivery from like the time where their burgers are ready to.
If we're going by what we're seeing at the site for the KFConsole, I think they're all going to be online only. So.
Oh, true.
But it's like, what would be like a unique box design that doesn't scream like NES, SNES, GameCube.
Theirs would have a built-in Coca-Cola freestyle machine. Definitely. It would just be built in. They might not even like heat anything. It's just like you can have your freestyle machine built into your system.
No. Frosty machine.
Even better. In-home frosty machine. That would honestly be the best system of all of them.
Yeah. Play video games while makes you a frosty. Although at the same time, I wonder how you get that frosty to be cold if they hit the gaming console.
See, but that's the genius part. See, it's built-in cooling to the point where it's so cold it even creates frosty for you.
Yes. Wendy's, hire us.
We are ready, Wendy's. That would be perfect. What's it called? Because other than that, I'm only thinking about like maybe a fry compartment.
Yeah, or for like those the small chicken nugget orders.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's
only 4. It would just have only 4 slots.
Yeah. Or like the small the container, the paper container, but it's it's like so the heat's going in 2 directions. Well, no, the heat's going in one direction. And after it heats, then it goes into cooling, which then creates the frosties.
Yep.
All right, now Arby's. What does Arby's got? Because their thing is we have the meats, so
I almost think that they would copy the same design as KFC, but their compartment would only be slots for different types of meat inside it, like a gyro section, like a roast beef section, a cheese dispenser because it has to have the beef and cheddar, so it has to have a cheese dispenser somewhere.
Maybe someplace to put the potato wedges.
Potato wedges, yeah. That would be a delicious system, actually.
Yeah, they would go the whole 9 yards. Get that.
And a curly fry pocket.
Yeah, curly fry department. Yes, gotta have the curly fries.
Yep. Now, one interesting one would be two actually. What would White Castle do? And then after that, what would Taco Bell do? Taco Bell would be weird.
Well, White Castle would be easy because they're just like the small little burgers. If anything, aside from maybe a few design differences, they could easily go the KFConsole route. In fact, they probably with the KFConsole, you can fit those little burgers in there.
That's definitely. I can't wait to see their reviews. Like we not only can eat chicken, but we tried other fast food places just stacking up all the food.
Someone will do that.
Definitely. Yeah.
But yeah, Taco
Bell.
What would Taco Bell do?
Taco Bell would be tough because none of the meat is really like meat. You know,
I mean, outside of that, because they're tacos and stuff. They don't really stay together,
right?
And it would just create a mess, both in and around the console.
There's only be a Baja Blast dispenser.
Okay,
Only
we're
Baja
good.
Blast.
Well,
Yep.
yeah, it's a type of Mountain Dew, and gamers like to drink Mountain Dew, so
Mhm.
or that, or maybe
Yep,
he has
yep.
like a heated taco holder at the side.
Mhm. Oh, or their nachos. Their nachos can
Oh
fit
yeah, the
inside
nachos,
it. Hmm.
nachos with
Yeah,
the cheese.
yeah. Hmm. They used to have the perfect thing though. They used to have a little taco pizza that actually could have fit in in like a disk drive. They could have made like a built-in disk drive and then put the little taco pizza in it.
Well. While we're talking about pizza,
Mhm.
we got the likes of, say, Pizza Hut, Domino's, Papa
Mm.
John's.
Pizza Hut will be the easiest one. A
They would
personal
be
pan pizza
personal pan pizza.
slot. Yep.
Little Caesars too. There's also Little
Little
Caesars.
Caesars. Yep. 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 Little Caesars will also have a breadstick compartment.
Yeah, breadstick. Well, Pizza Hut can do that too.
Oh, true.
Maybe
They do have
Domino's.
breadsticks now.
I think Domino's has breadsticks too.
Hmm.
Actually, I think they all have breadsticks.
Hmm. So yep, they all will need a breadstick compartment.
Yeah,
Pizza slot.
pizza slot.
Actually,
or tray.
oh yeah, tray.
Full on
What
tray.
they also should do is have a component where you just put in the toppings, preload toppings, and then
Yeah.
it puts it all for you.
Go straight on Lunchables. Go straight on Lunchables.
Because if you think about it, though, it's like before when you boot up the system, it can say what pizza would you like, and you say like sausage pepperoni, and then while you're playing, it's the 30 minutes it takes to heat up the pizza, and then they don't even have to deliver it to you. It just keeps out the front.
Comes with a built-in game. Pizza.
Ooh,
All right, now we got
one good one would be Panda Express.
Oh,
Because would they go with the orange chicken / Beijing beef, or would they just have a ramen compartment for the chow mein?
Well, it's chow mein.
Uh huh.
Ramen's Japanese.
Oh yeah, but would it just have the chow mein compartment? Because I would buy the system if it just had its big old chow mein compartment. Uh huh.
All right, Dunkin' Donuts. What would Dunkin' Donuts do? I mean, there's donuts and coffee.
They would. Well, Starbucks would definitely go coffee.
Yeah, Starbucks would definitely go coffee. Yeah, it's like you put in the coffee beans and water and use the heat from the console to make the coffee. Boom, done, perfect. I mean, I know gamers are on energy drinks, but some drink coffee.
Definitely. Now, Dunkin' Donuts, though, I feel like they would either be the cheaper system where they only give like K-cup dispensed coffee, like only.
Well, I mean, yeah, I was gonna say Starbucks also does that.
Well, but I feel like Dunkin' sells the K-cups like in their own stuff. I don't know if Starbucks sells. I think Starbucks they do. Oh.
Or I mean, if worse comes to worse, yeah, they have it in grocery stores.
Or you can actually order it online.
Yeah.
Oh, it will have a built-in ordering button. Where you just click the system and then they ship it directly to your door.
I think all of them can have that. Where it's like, hey, maybe you don't feel like cleaning your KFC console, or maybe you would like some new chicken. Pause your game, go to like the order app, and then you go to their order site, or maybe like Grubhub or DoorDash.
Oh wait, no! You it's all a single press of button. You have your order preloaded.
Well, yeah,
so you can say, "I'm hungry."
Button, and it delivers to you.
I'm still hungry. Button again. The reward points, like you like how
gamer achievements are reward points.
Yep.
So you can get like special offers and discounts for your food.
You have earned 1 piece of chicken.
We're living in the future now.
See, I really think KFC needs to hire both of us to both market their product and to give them innovations for their tell them otherwise we're going to their competitors. It's like, KFC. We heard that Chick-fil-A might have a couple ideas too.
Or Popeyes. There's also Popeyes.
Oh, Popeyes. Oh, see, they definitely should do something. Like they should jump in because otherwise they're gonna be left in the everyone's gonna focus on KFC like, oh, they're for the younger generation, us as gamers. When Popeyes hasn't done anything. They need to jump in also.
I mean, aside from having the better chicken.
True.
It's like there are plenty of other places that I would much rather have than KFC, but it's like if I had to choose like your average chain, I still prefer Popeyes over KFC.
Well, what about Chick-fil-A though?
I mean, it's like they do taste better, but it's one of those things where it's like people hype them up so much, but then I'm just kind of like, it's okay.
That's true.
Kind of how I felt like when I had In-N-Out for the first time too. The Western burger chain.
Yep.
The West Coast burger chain, where it's like everyone was so raving about it. It's like, I don't know. I like Five Guys better.
Yeah.
I mean, it's good, but it's like I have Five Guys and Culver's at home.
Oh, I just thought something. Do you think that any of the restaurants would combine into like one system? So similar to like when like how Sega can kind of partner with like Nintendo and other companies to make their games. Yeah, like do you think that like because like in theory, Pizza Hut could combine with KFC since they're both owned under the same brand, and so like the next version.
Taco Bell.
Yep, Taco Bell too. Yeah,
Taco Bell too.
So like their system could have like a layer system where like one layer is chicken, the next layer is pizza.
The other is pizza, the other is tacos.
Yeah, which those would
like
be
a triple decker console. Dunkin' Donuts can team up with Baskin Robbins.
Oh, that would be a good combination. Get ice cream and coffee and donuts all in one.
It's as if gamers weren't stereotypically fat enough.
All of us would be like that one guy from South Park. You remember that what was it, the World of Warcraft guy?
Someone who was like going to cons cosplaying as him and was known for that. He actually recently passed away.
I heard of that. Yeah,
it was kind of a bummer. It's like, and he was actually like, I think from what I gathered from what I read about him, it's like he actually was good. He was a good figure at like anti-bullying and like fundraising. So it's like, wow. I don't know. I haven't heard of him before, but now that I do, I'm kind of sad. It's like, rip in peace, real life South Park, World of Warcraft guy.
Yeah, because I heard it was from COVID too.
Oh, that's just adding salt to the wound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think it was recent, right? I think it was like at the end of 2020.
It was either at the end of 2020 or to like start this year off. But I mean, either way, that's just a massive bummer.
Especially
did get a chance to try out the KFC console.
Yeah. Oh man, but that was the one thing I'm really surprised at with that system though is the. Can you put the picture back up one more time? Because it said about the 240 frames per second.
Yeah, I think they bumped it up after the initial reveal. Because I noticed the initial trailer it said 120. I mean, as for someone who's used to 30 and 60, it's like 240 just seems like it'll hurt my eyes.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah, because that seems like so many like
moving images,
extra frames. Yeah.
And it's, of course, with me also being the film nerd, it's like I'm so used to operating. It's like 24, 30, 60. It's like
Mm.
anything more than that, it's like I think this is overkill.
Uh-huh.
That's actually kind of how I feel about 4K as well.
Yep.
I usually like to operate in either 1080, or I think this stream's also in 720,
Mhm.
because it's like, because with 4K it's like, yeah, you have more pixels, but not only do you like not only does it operate in like a color space that we can't really identify with our naked eye,
Mhm.
um, but the other thing too is that, um, 4K is more resources intensive.
Yeah.
So if you want something in 4K, it's more space, it takes up more hard drive,
Mhm.
well, it takes more processing power, and it takes up more internet bandwidth.
Uh-huh.
So you kind of have a triple threat of, you know, more eating up your storage, eating up your graphics card, and eating up your internet.
Mm.
So
While you're
it's
eating up your chicken.
while you're eating up your chicken, yeah. While you're
So
eating up
I
your
couldn't
chicken.
resist. But yeah, like I completely agree with that part there too. And that's what I've always been wondering about systems that only like, well, both systems and also games and things that use the 4K as their main selling point, because
Yeah.
it's not really only the 4K that people should be going for, even though like they plaster that like everywhere, like it's 4K, it's 4K. But and I even heard recently like some companies now like in the future are going to push for 8K, and
But not everyone has a 4K TV.
mm-hmm,
Why are you pushing for 8K? It's like my 1080p TV still works just fine, and I've been playing on that sucker for uh 9 years.
mm-hmm.
Getting on
And
9.5.
that's a beautiful picture too, you know.
Yeah, it's like 1080 is still a good picture.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, yeah, it's, when you really think about it, it's, at that point it's just becoming a numbers game. And I think that's the same thing with frame rate too. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
it's just a numbers game for the sake of being a numbers game. And it's like, if you're not doing anything with the resolution, the frame rate, if for it to be a fun game, it's like, why even bother?
Mm. So I think it's as long as it hits that like a certain threshold where the game's playable, that should be the, because you could have a game that's even like a lower frame rate, but works well for what that game's trying to accomplish.
Yeah, because a lot of the early N6, most of the N64 and PS1 games, there are
Mhm.
times where you have to work with like a 20 frame rate in
Mhm.
like the 12 or so. Not 12, no, 12 is it's getting close to unplayable. The 20, and it's like
12 is cyberpunk levels of
12,
slow
yeah.
down.
But
Oh
yeah,
man.
it's like,
Because when I saw that 240, I thought that was a. I almost thought that was like something related to something within KFC that they were tying back to.
there's
Oh.
also the refresh rate, 240 hertz,
Mm.
to basically, which I think helps prevent like frame stuttering or frame tearing.
Hmm. See, so my only thing with the I guess the amount of power that the system has in terms of processing
Mm-hmm.
is that that amount of processing power is going to have enough heat itself. Then you add the chicken component on top of it. The system's going to fry itself.
Yeah, no kidding. Sorry,
Mhm.
my camera. I think when I tried to adjust myself, my camera kind of
Oh,
disconnected. So let me kind of fix that for a moment.
sounds good. Oh,
Whoop.
perfect. It's back in. Oh, is that Kingdom Hearts shirt, by the way?
Yeah, that is a Kingdom Hearts shirt. There we go.
Nice. Kingdom Hearts 3 or Kingdom Hearts?
No, it's just the logo.
Oh, excellent. Sorry, completely off topic. Are you getting the Switch one that just came out? The weird one?
The melody rhythm. I already played and beaten it.
Oh, really? Nice.
Yeah.
Was it good?
It was all right. It works as a rhythm game.
Excellent.
But it just kind of, like any Kingdom Hearts quote unquote side game, it just kind of adds more bloat. But it's what most people have come to expect.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
yeah.
Oh, sorry. You can go on ahead.
I was gonna say, in terms of with the system, I guess outside of food companies, do you think that any other company would now decide to throw their hat into the video game console ring?
I'm not sure as far as console goes. And Amazon recently kind of opened up their gaming studio, and they're not really too successful with that at the moment. Of course, there's also Google Stadia, which is also it's also a train wreck.
Yeah, Google Stadia's
not. It's like
pretty bad.
The concept, seemed appealing, but the way they handled it was just kind of.
Well, if they made it the Netflix of video games, where like you pay per month, you get access to all the games, and you can stream from anywhere, then everybody would have like went into that system.
Well, they also the other thing that they need to deal with is end lag between the controller and the game itself, because when you're online, certain things aren't as responsive as when you're playing them on your platform, because that's what a lot of online stores kind of have going for them, because with places like Steam, Epic Game Store, Battle.net, Origin, the Microsoft game stores, that you're getting these games online, but they're also installing the game on your computer,
right?
So that you may still have to be online to play them, but it's referencing like local files. Whereas Stadia is more of a cloud-based service. And because of that, your experience depends on how well both your internet connection is and how their servers are, which can lead to being quite the mess.
Even though, oddly enough, what game runs the best on Stadia compared to any other platform? Cyberpunk 2077.
Really?
Yep. Because you don't have to worry about the hardware, and it already has its like built-in lag. So, but with the I guess because it doesn't have to boot as much, you don't get all the weird like glitches that occur. Well, as often as other systems. Yeah, because I heard
I'm not really sure that's a plus for either the Stadia or Cyberpunk 2077, though.
No, probably not.
It's like, but it is kind of strange how one broken thing ends up working with another broken thing, and then it somehow works better.
Now they also haven't seen, I guess, as much like how it's going to run with like the next gen update. Maybe once it gets to that point, that like the PS5 and the Xbox Series will be the best overall. Because right now that like I guess in terms of like actual consoles, they're the best compared to the base PS4 and the Xbox One. The PS5 and Xbox Series X, they run pretty much close to the PC version. But for some reason, Stadia, as long as it's streaming, it picks up things a lot faster, and like you don't get the loading glitches, which I know some of the higher end PCs also don't get as many of them. But I just heard even like some of the gameplay ones aren't as bad, You don't get as many T-poses.
Now, a real question is, to kind of just bring this back to our starting topic, is how would Cyberpunk 2077 run on the KFC console?
Deliciously. No.
Deliciously.
But
how well would it heat up your chicken?
one of the two things is going to work. Either it's going to heat up the chicken really well in the system because of all the bugs messing up the game. It's going to add additional heat, or
it's going to completely dry it out.
Yeah. What if the bugs from Cyberpunk are so bad it starts messing up the KFConsole? You open up, my chicken's cold.
The chicken's cold. It's somehow colder than when I put it in.
You get the what's it called? The speech from the CEO from CD Projekt Red. It's like, I'm sorry, I want to talk to you about one other thing. Recently, people have been playing playing Cyberpunk on the KFConsole, and I would personally like to apologize for everyone who had cold chicken, or who had the chicken turned into burgers, fries, chicken. What's it called? Fish fillets, potato skins, or any other foods. That was a glitch we were not prepared for.
Also, we weren't sure how we were able to bend the very fabrics of reality through game glitches. We'll get back to you on that.
We have a roadmap for how we're going to change this. He's like, I also would like to say that we rushed out the chicken. It was a lot of you got undone chicken, and that was because we rushed it out because of our shareholders. We're sorry about that.
Sorry about that.
We remain committed to you guys. It is as
the
long
chicken
as
somehow became uncooked and unbreaded.
You open up the compartment's actual live chicken.
No, it'd be baby chickadees hatching out of eggs.
Yup. Like, ooh, that's a bug we did not expect. Oh, that's because you guys are running on the base version of the KFConsole. If you got to the KFConsole 2, the second version, those bugs are
KFConsole Extra Crispy.
The extra crispy console. Like, if you get that one, then all the bugs will be taken care of. But by the way, you won't see any reviews on this system because we're not going to share reviews until the embargo ends right the day the game launches. People were so mad at that game, and I completely understand, even though I haven't bought the game or played the game.
Yeah.
But the best part with that, it's going to change the entire industry. Trust me, it's going to change how people how companies view their launch dates for games, and like the pushback that they could receive if they launch it out. Like, 'cause remember before, companies were always launching games and like having day one patches and saying like, we hope this fixes it like right away. Mm-hmm. But now they're more likely to have it in a more solid state the day a game releases.
I don't know. Some companies, I think, even after this, still probably wouldn't care. As long as they get their money. I
think this is going to affect pre-orders too.
Yeah.
Because remember, it was like one of the most pre-ordered games. So I think if it impacts pre-orders, where as long as companies can't say, hey, we have 13 million pre-orders in advance before the game even comes out, so we paid for the game off of pre-orders. Because that's why CD Projekt Red still released the game, because they had all their money from just the pre-orders alone. So the day one sales were profit from the very start. Mm-hmm. So even if they had to give a ton of refunds, like maybe I think it said 3 million refunds, or 3 or 4 million, but they still sold the 13 million. Mm-hmm. Then they're like, oh, even if we give back all that money, we still made our. They even said the marketing was refunded from pre-orders. which is insane because their marketing is like one of the highest marketing like fees for a game in quite a while.
Interesting. Well, yeah, I mean,
Mhm.
you did kind of have to feature Keanu Reeves, and he's
Uh-huh.
he's kind of top billing there.
They even said they want him, like they said there's a theory he might come back for more DLC.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. But with the system though, I think I would be shocked if we don't hear any um and I guess any launch issues with the system in terms of overheating. Because even though it's made to like withstand a certain amount of
Or even
heat,
like
uh,
or even like sparks from like all the leftover grease and crap.
mhm.
That's
Like
kind of why I'm thinking like I think this is probably going to be the only console of its kind for a reason.
mhm.
Not
Now
to
do
mention
you
how
think
pricey it's going to be.
uh-huh. Now do you think I've heard this theory online. Do you think that they're making the system so that as a promotional item for a giveaway and that it might not be a full-fledged system? I think that they still will make it, but do you think it's going to be like the first people to get it will be like kind of like how the Taco Bell had the gold PS4s back in the
Yeah.
day? Like, do you think it might be similar, or do you think with all the components that they're putting in it, they still would have to sell some to like kind of break even and stuff?
I think they would have to sell some.
Mhm.
But I could see them like having that to launch the system is have it be like a sweepstakes.
Mhm.
And then depending on the success, they sell it in limited quantities afterwards.
Mhm.
Because I don't think that's the easiest thing to produce. And not
Right.
to mention, this is the first time I've heard of the company that's making it called Cooler Master. I
Mm.
think this is their first project, actually.
Mm. But
'Cause
they're
I don't,
already partnering with Seagate, so I
yeah,
know it has to be.
yeah, because they're partying with Seagate and Asus.
Hmm.
Uh, two well-known computer brands. So,
Hmm. And you know, it would be
and of
a
course, they have
lot.
to work with
Yeah.
Intel too.
Right. And it would be a lot for them to like, because you know, if it was just like solely promotional, they probably wouldn't say, "Hey, let's get Asus and let's get Seagate." They would get like a random company, like a really random company. Say, "Hey, we have this part from over here or this part over here," because it doesn't matter because it's a promotion. But since they're
Mhm.
actually getting like some of the top companies,
Mhm.
especially getting the memory from Seagate's pretty big because they had a deal with Microsoft.
Mhm.
And I know like that's more with their like 1 terabyte cards, but with them making so much money from Microsoft with the next gen Xbox Series systems, for them to also say, "Hey, we're gonna be a memory solution for like KFC," you know that's almost like they have to know like, "Hey, this is still gonna be an actual thing too," you know, to
It's
not mess up that goodwill with the Microsoft brand.
it's pretty interesting, but then again, uh, I I don't really think Microsoft is one of the most lenient gaming companies. Like, I don't
Mm,
think they have any
that's
sort
true.
of non-compete clauses
Mm,
when it comes to their stuff.
that's true.
And I think that's kind of what made Microsoft in general like a very accessible company,
Mm,
as opposed to other companies like say Apple or Nintendo, where they like to use their very own specific stuff.
mm,
Like I think at Apple in particular, they're going to be dropping the Intel processor pretty soon for their own in-house one. Or actually, I think with the new
mm.
computers that they're already doing that. So, which will be interesting. But that's a whole different
That's gonna be
topic.
very interesting because uh wow because they definitely like I hope that they know like have it like so if they're leaving Intel they're literally building their own
Yeah, they're
like
making their
chips.
own.
Wow. Wow. That's
So, yep.
I hope
but-
they're as efficient.
Well, we'll see when the computers come out.
Mhm.
But aside from all of that, I think this wraps up our talk of
Mhm.
arguably one of the weirdest consoles to have ever been imagined.
Mhm.
I'm pretty sure none of us thought that this was ever going to be a thing.
Mhm.
It's like
Was
fast
it
food.
VR ready?
Yeah, that was one
Like
of their
VR
things.
games? on
Yeah,
this?
you could play VR games while heating up your chicken.
What? I completely like missed that part. Wow.
Of all
Wow.
the things that we could innovate, the thing that we decided to focus on is a console that heats up your freaking chicken. And not even like any and every chicken, just the kind, small dinky kind too.
I really hope that this is like at CES or like one of those like big I actually hope that this will be at I guess they don't have E3 anymore, unfortunately, but like whatever
Well,
E3,
CES
yeah.
is gonna be like is gonna be digital anyway because of
Mhm.
the ongoing pandemic.
Mhm.
But
I hope to see this. Like I want to see this in action, actually heating chicken while playing game. I want to see it like live.
that will be something. Although
Uh-huh.
seeing how it just got introduced, I don't think we're probably going to see this until at least late this year, maybe early next year. To see
True.
it actually in action.
Hmm.
But I think the whole case in point is as to kind of go into like our title is what the heck even is this thing, and how and why is this real?
Yeah. Yeah.
That I think that's like the biggest takeaway from all of that.
Mm.
So yeah, that will wrap up our discussion for this little talk here. Thanks for joining with me once again, Phil. Hopefully, we will do another one of these sometime in the near future.
Mhm.
I know with us being like adults and crap with like our schedules and responsibilities, it's pretty hard to do these sort of things, but
Mhm.
they are a fun time nonetheless.
Definitely. Thanks for having me
Especially
too.
since we can't go out anywhere.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Well, at least
yeah,
for now. At least for
for
now.
now, yeah.
Hopefully things open up if everyone wears masks. Everyone watching.
Everyone watching, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, with all that said, everybody, have yourselves a wonderful day. Take care and stay safe and healthy out there.
Mhm.
Be
Bye,
crazy.
everyone.